1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Well, as I was saying, I don't remember. Hi, it's me again, I swear to God. And this time I intend to stay for a while. And I have two people joining me, for those of you who are looking on camera. And one you might recognize. That'd be my sister Susan, who, it is Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday, so it'd be Susan's normal day. And next to her, my irascible brother, Bill. Bill? Hello. Geez. I was telling Bill is an entertainer of his own, but he gets, when you're on camera like this.
Yes, I get camera shy.
He gets camera shy. He gets self-conscious. He thinks you're all looking at him. So keep looking at him and notice the nervous tics and stuff.
No, and you'll just see that
Here.
Lynn Cullen looks like me in drag.
No, I don't. Do I? A little bit.
I look like the mailman.
So anyway, I am so sorry. I feel like I owe you all a really big apology. I really disappeared, and I had no intention of doing so, but, you know, life comes at you. And I'm trying to remember the last time I saw you. I did have a sling on, but I thought I was going to be okay. But then Susan's husband died, and down I went to St. Louis for that misery and tragedy. And I also there compounded my injury by taking another fall and came back to Pittsburgh, had the one show, and then went to see the doctor after that show, and he said, you've got to have surgery, like, immediately. So it turned out it was a bad, bad break. And so now I'm incapacitated to a certain extent. However, I now feel well enough to function. I was just down and out. And Susan, being the great sister she is, came up here to take care of me, and she's going to stay through Friday. My brother came in as well, and so we've all been here. And I have to say, this is a first, is it not? The three of us adult siblings without spouses or parents. And it's been an interesting, I think we've enjoyed it, sort of, kind of.
No, I think we
got it.
well.
Guys, you guys are going to have to.
We did well.
We actually get along as a family.
Yeah.
This is one of the rarities of a family that we actually get along.
Yeah.
We look forward to being together, actually.
Right. And then, of course, you're together.
Within limits.
Right. And then you start annoying each other.
There's no accident that this is the first time we've all been together alone. We don't press our luck.
Well, I think, adversity does create sort of good opportunities sometimes to get to know each other. Many of you have expressed lovely get well wishes to me, condolence wishes to Susan, and I'm sure I'll let Susan talk for herself. Thank you for that. She does not want to talk about that on the air, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
Other than to say thank you to everybody that wrote or contacted me. It was very sweet to see Pittsburgh checking in. So thank you very much. I think I've gotten most of my thank you notes to people in Pittsburgh, but if I haven't yet, I'll get there. So, but that's it. Life goes on, as does mine. So let's talk about something else.
Yeah. Like what?
Thank you notes.
Like let's talk about thank you notes.
Is there anything? I still remember mine from my bar mitzvah. I still remember having to write to people who donated to a charity in my name. I had to thank them for that.
For not giving you money?
They're not giving me a present.
And you took umbrage?
I said, thank you very much for the donation to the Torah Fund in my name. I will put it to very good use.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Of course, that was my standard.
Oh, we
line.
have a call. You guys all have to sort of share that to hear. Caller, hi. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hi. What's up?
Is this the Lynn Cullen show?
This is the Lynn Cullen show. Hello?
She thought it was
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay, this is Lynn Cullen.
Oh. May I speak with her?
What? Yes.
You are speaking to her.
I'm here.
Oh. Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
I've never called here before. This is Lori.
What? Lori. Okay, Lori. Go ahead, Lori.
Well, I just want to say welcome back.
Oh!
I'm so glad you're back.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Lori. It's good to
I
be
can
back.
barely hear you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
It's good to be back.
I
Bye.
will, don't know if I'll ever call again because I'm really, really nervous.
All right. Okay. Don't you ever call again.
Never,
you.
ever call again.
Never. Ever. You're on
Oh.
our... Ever, ever. Thank
No.
you. Thank you, Lori. Bye. She screwed up her courage to call and then just totally panicked.
Right. That's okay. You can try again. Don't listen to
No, she doesn't want to. She said it made her way too nervous. So, yeah. Well, can I talk about a few things that the news, by the way, when you're hurting, you're in pain, your head's all screwed up from pain meds and from anesthesia and all this stuff. The idea of reading a newspaper or watching the news is absurd. I mean, because all it does is further intensify your pain. There's nothing positive. So I've been blissfully sort of out of it for some time. And when I started peeking back into what was going on, it's so depressing. Come on. So now, Benghazi has given way to they're stuck in the bees. Bergdahl, is that his name?
Yeah.
Bergdahl. Benghazi now. The Republicans, you got to
Let
want
that American die, say the Republicans.
Listen, they become they're absolutely becoming caricatures. They're absurd. No matter what is done, it's wrong. If they're, Benghazi, who gave us that extraordinary list? I probably still have it somewhere here, of how many American consulate employees, State Department employees, and soldiers died in attacks on American embassies during the tenure of George W. Bush. What was it? It was like 60, 70 consulates were being attacked. They were knocking people off left and right. Not a word was said about, impeach them. This is the most outrageous thing. 6 people have been killed at the embassy in Pakistan. And 4 die in Libya, and they go insane. I hate them. Okay, so listen, my brain's going to take a while to ratchet back up into the outrage zone. And
let's talk about what that reaction does, because what just happened in Las Vegas?
Well, somebody else was killing people, right?
Somebody else, a man and his dewy-eyed wife, decided to start a revolution because of everything they were reading from the Tea Party and because they hated Obama. So they went out and shot police officers.
Right, because they took it. You'll see more, but we're seeing more and more of it.
Yes.
And that is domestic terrorism. And it comes from what direction of the political spectrum?
But if you suggest...
It comes from the right.
If you suggest that people are responsible because of the way they speak and the way they egg on people like this, they take great umbrage that their words have no actual power to do what they're doing, and they do, clearly.
It's unbelievable.
Bill, by the way, is silent because he's on their side.
You are not. Oh, come on.
No, but it just always takes me aback that, you give this thing about all these people died at embassies when George W. Bush was president and nobody said anything. Is that the Democrats just dropping the ball yet again on another political opportunity?
No.
Maybe they should learn to play a little tougher like
nothing gets done if everything becomes fodder for, to put it to the president if he's not a member of your party. It's irresponsible. It is just, I'm going to say this, and I mean it with every fiber of my being. I hate the Republicans.
It's politics. You hate politics.
It's dirty. It's politics like we haven't seen it in forever, and you've seen how they've shut down our government. How can you say that? You agreed with me the other day when I said all of the institutions of this country are broken, and they have been broken because of policies pushed by the Republican Party. If you ask me, what's the biggest danger to this country? It's the Republican Party and what they're doing to this country, destroying public education, absolutely refusing to deal with our totally corrupted healthcare system. Refusing to take care of infrastructure because they will not raise taxes from the citizenry. They will start wars and not pay for them. They will, have confetti parades every time they start a war and send soldiers off. And then when those soldiers come back, they underfund the Veterans Administration. They underfund every regulatory agency that is supposed to make sure that our air is safe, our water is safe. They are, I think, the biggest danger to this nation's future of anything.
Well, and the whole Veterans Hospital thing is, surprising to me because they act like this is new. And in fact, I can remember when our father and mother had a home in California and they decided to go to the VA because apparently the doctors were better than what the regular California
and the ones that rip off those old people.
Right, the ones that prey on the old people, right. But Dad had to, I can remember them talking about having to wait and how they had someone that finagled them an appointment, but so this is the way the veterans hospitals have been underfunded for
I just
decades.
Want you to know, in the interest of full disclosure, that Lynn Cullen is a paid shill of the Mortgage Bankers Association. The people who brought you 2008. She has a plaque at home.
Which she probably displays.
Yes, honoring her. She uses it as a trivet. But nonetheless, there she is, a paid shill. Talk about conflicts of interest.
Yes. I think I maybe told that story once.
You did tell that story?
I don't know. I was asked to speak.
They stiffed her.
I was asked to speak to
they did to the whole country. Actually.
Right. I was asked to speak at their big dinner at the Sheraton Station Square, and I thought, mortgage bankers? What the hell am I going to say to mortgage bankers?
Give me one.
I thought, I'll think of a way. I'll say, oh, sure, but my fee is, and I'll make it so high that they'll say, oh, no, we couldn't possibly. So I don't remember what I thought was so high that they wouldn't do it, but I'm thinking it was $1,000. And, of course, their response was, okay, no problem. So now I'm stuck having to go to the Sheraton, talk to a bunch of mortgage brokers, all of whom, of course, listen to right-wing radio. If they ever heard me in their lives, they detested me, and I couldn't figure out what the. So I really worked on that speech. I did, and I did a pretty damn good job. I even made a few of them laugh once or twice. And then, thank God, I got through it, and they came up and they gave me this nice, big, heavy plaque that said something about
Your service to the mortgage.
service and support of
Right.
the Mortgage Bankers Association. And then they slipped me a little envelope, and I said, thank you so very much. And I hightailed it out the side door of the Sheraton right into my car, which you used to be able to park there. Those of you who know me. And I get in my seat. I rip open the envelope. And again, I repress things that are unpleasant. I think it might have been $100.
They left off a zero.
They
pulled a mortgage bank.
Yeah, they did! Those thieves! And this shows you that this sort of, what? I mean, my on-air persona is not the real. You would think Lynn Cullen would storm out of that car.
And say, you forgot a zero.
Excuse me. The real Lynn Cullen looked at it.
And went, oh.
No, looked at it with rage, anger, but never even considered going back.
Yeah, but you've been making fun of them.
I've been
ever
making
since,
fun of them
so-
ever since. So that is anytime I have a dinner party, anytime that thing goes smack dab in the middle of my dining room table, and I put hot stuff on it. And people have asked, invariably say, "What are you using that plaque as a trivet?" And then I get to malign the Mortgage Bankers Association. Isn't that right?
That's right.
That's right.
But she wouldn't be maligning them
If they gave you the
if
thou.
there were a thou in the envelope.
But that's right.
That's true.
A deal is a deal unless
Oh
you make
my
one with a mortgage
God.
breaker. That's the rule.
Okay. And here's another quick story. This is the old story, and Jess is responsible for this because she emailed me or texted me last night. She found a story headlined, "Woman who made sweet, gentle love with a dolphin says it was sensuous."
Well, that's you, right?
Yeah, and I will say, I've always said of my encounter with the dolphin that it was sensuous. It was one of the most.
But this isn't about.
This isn't about me.
No.
Oh, you mean somebody else's?
Somebody else.
Oh, it
is
happens
going
all
around
the
with dolphin.
time because dolphins
Are into girls.
are hot to try.
And that nose of theirs, too.
Yeah, right, and that proboscis. But it turns out, this is in the 1960s, and she was a researcher, part of a NASA-funded study.
I
To
remember
get
her.
this is too absurd, to teach dolphins English.
Well, what did you want them to learn? Chinese?
Well, I mean,
They can probably do it.
Dogs can do it. Why can't dolphins
well,
do it?
say okay. So there is a film out now called "The Girl Who Talked to Dolphins."
Dolphin does Dallas.
And the dolphin's
It's
name.
more like Dallas does dolphins.
Dallas does dolphins. The woman's name is I don't know what the woman's name is. The dolphin's name, and this is too easy, is too stupid, is Peter. And so her quotes seem a little.
Have you noticed that people who name their children Richard now, that the kid insists on
being
going
called
by
Richard?
Rich, or
Right.
Richard, or fully
Richard.
Richard.
Are you
And
saying
that-
there's
and
no dicks anymore?
There's no dicks anymore, and the
Well,
same.
they are, but they don't call themselves.
They don't call themselves, but there's that kind of whole pretentiousness that even Bill, you can't call somebody Bill. They call them William, or it's this whole stinking culture of like pretense in your kid, or it might the kid's self-esteem might suffer,
If he was a mere Bill instead of a William.
Bill instead of a William, or if he is a Dick,
Well, yeah, Dick, though.
Or if he's Peter. You can't do Peter anymore, the saint upon whom the church rests. You can't even do that.
Here's her words about this particular...
Or eat peanut butter.
Or here's a regular... Don't get into that. Here's what she said. Peter liked to be with me. He would rub himself on my knee, my foot, my hand, and I allowed that. I wasn't uncomfortable as long as it wasn't too rough. It was just easier, blah, 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 blah. It was very precious, very gentle.
This is disgusting.
And then she says...
How is this different than petting a cat? So far...
Okay, here's what's different. She said it was sexual. She says it was sexual on Peter's part.
How does she know?
The same way I know.
The ejaculate.
My experience. The erect member.
The erect member?
Yes. It was She says it was not sexual on my part. It was sensuous, perhaps.
Oh.
But that's how I felt about it too. Even when I didn't know what was going on. Even when it was one of the most sensual experiences I ever had. The skin of that, the strength, and it was incredible. And then it got a little too rough.
And then born of that encounter was the Minotaur. Or some creature.
But
a mermaid, perhaps.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I've heard a lot of... There's even, that Comedy Central show, King of the Hill, I think.
Cartoon?
I think there was an episode in that where he won some contest where he got to swim with a dolphin.
Who did? The dad?
Yeah, I think so. Tell me somebody if I'm remembering this wrong. Or maybe it was Peter from Family Guy. But the whole show was part of when he got in the pool, the dolphin started getting sexual with him.
So
it is known. It happens all the time.
Dolphins are really into people.
They're just into doing it.
If you can get yourself a people, get yourself a people.
Right.
They make no distinction between the sex of the person.
No. So here, I do have a question, though, because your sending a question out reminded me that we were going to send a question out. I was driving Lynn in this morning, and I saw a sign that said, "No brake retardation allowed in city limits."
No brake retardation. I had never seen it. It was on Fifth Avenue.
What is brake retardation?
Yeah, we said, and Bill, watch out.
Why?
Because we came up with a politically incorrect thing that it might be.
I was following them on a motorcycle, so I
don't
know
what
they came up with.
No, what does that mean? Can anybody? I'd never seen it before. Okay, no brake retardation allowed in city limits.
It means gearing down, using your engine to brake the.
Well, why not? My car specifically
But
comes
why,
with directions that
why
I'm
would there
supposed
be
to
a,
do that.
Why would there be a sign? What's that about?
It's like the sign that they had on Michigan highways where the
For
workmen
runaway trucks?
For the workers, when there's workers on the highways,
right.
They would have a sign saying, "Kill a worker. $7,500."
Right.
And it was like a disgrace. It means, of course, $7,500 in addition to whatever else, but it just means, hey, I'm good for it. I'll kill a worker. Like $7,500. Yeah, I mean, it just looks it's demeaning to the worker. So somebody needs to, put in a better.
We got a call. Okay. We got a call. Hi.
Okay, so this is speculation because I'm not sure about this, but it's very nice to see you all together.
Thank you.
I think it's what they call Jake breaking.
Date rape?
It's known in the past as Jake breaking or in trucking nomenclature as Jake breaking.
Bill thought you said date rape.
No, Jake break.
Jake break?
Jake breaking, which is a slang in trucking nomenclature.
And what does that mean?
And that is downshifting, using it, and that's one of the reasons they don't like people to do it in populated areas is because it goes
It's the downshift.
Have you ever heard that
Doesn't
when
make
a
so
truck
much
goes
noise.
by
Yeah,
and
I
they gear
guess.
down and it does that obnoxious and loud noise that sounds like it's going to shake the fillings out of your teeth?
However, have you ever seen such a sign?
No, I haven't. I have seen a no jake braking sign though.
Oh, you've seen no Jake breaking.
And
Yes, I
I've
have
seen
seen the
signs
no
that
jake
say
braking
no
sign.
downshift.
But I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure
see
if that's
no
brake
downshift.
retardation or not. I'm just saying that's the one that I know about. So one might not even be right. So it's good to see you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, brake retardation seems a little.
Somebody stayed up late coming up with that one.
Just think of those poor brakes. But actually, it helps the brakes to use the engine. The brakes, you don't put any wear and tear on the brakes. You let the engine gears.
Well, and
stop the
it's sometimes it's more effective, especially the bigger the thing. The proper way to drive is to downshift.
Let the gears slow it down.
Yes,
Right.
but if that's a populated area, maybe there was a complaint. But what is that? What is the good of one stupid sign at 5th and Shady, which is where I think we saw it. 5th and Shady, and it's sort of askew too. It looked like a real sign had been, and then it sort of looked askew.
And then
No
I sort
break-
of almost had an accident because I'm going,
What is that?
mean?
Right. So it'll cause accidents as people try to figure out what the hell it means. Hey, I got to take a break, and we'll be right back. I can't believe we're here.
Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com or call Lynn at 412-316-3381. Lynn Cullen Live will return in a moment.
Download the brand new CP Haps app and find out what's going on in Pittsburgh. It's the fun and free app that puts the most popular events at your fingertips. Text events to 77948 to download now and register to win tickets to WWE SmackDown at Console Energy Center on June 24th. The CP Haps app brought to you by Pittsburgh City Paper.
Packers.
Vikings.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we make a real difference in the building blocks of life. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly so do our communities. Real change won't happen without you.
Live United.
So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Have a question or an opinion? Call Lynn Cullen at 412-316-3381 or email lynn at pghcitypaper.com. Now, more with Lynn Cullen Live.
All right, we're back. Apparently, we're not talking about urination. Usually, when my brother's around, we're talking about constipation. But
Well, at
everybody
my age
okay?
now, urination too is a topic.
Okay, we're not going to talk about that. We have an email from a listener in Macon, Georgia, saying today's show will be memorable. Cullen, and Cullen. It's actually Miller,
Miller
and
Cullen.
No,
it's
Miller,
Nutzel
Nutzel, and
and
Cullen. But it is Miller. And Laura from Ann Arbor writes,
Oh,
wow, never thought I would see Bill sitting in that chair.
hi, Laura.
Laura,
is my
Hi, Laura.
is the greatest secretary who ever lived. That's who Laura is.
Laura.
She has 9 of us and makes each one of us feel like we're her favorite.
Okay,
How does she
Laura,
pull
ask
that
for a
off?
raise.
Are you in any way able to help get her a raise?
Yeah, right.
No.
Well, you could pay her out of your own pocket.
If I threatened to quit unless Laura got her salary doubled, they'd say, "Thank you very much, goodbye."
But so Laura is the secretary to 9
9 of us.
professors?
They just keep adding more. 'Cause she's so
Oh,
efficient.
man.
She's so efficient.
Well, stop. See, that's
work
the problem.
slow down, Laura.
That's right.
Do a work slow down.
You know, it's so true. Whenever anybody is really good at what they
You're
do,
rewarded by more.
you're
work.
not. You're rewarded by be given more
work.
and more work. You're rarely rewarded. Which brings me back to another pet peeve: how labor, good work, is not rewarded anymore in this culture. They can't figure out, well, we're making jobs. We can't figure out why the economy's still in the doldrums. Well, it's because the jobs don't pay enough for anybody to spend any of their money.
It's because, for example, if you're carrying $150,000 in student loans and you've become an attorney, they will not hire you anymore. You get what is called a contract job. Now, they don't teach that in contracts in law school. What it means is you don't have a job. We're paying you by the case. So we will take you on to do a little research, and we'll pay you a pittance. And then maybe, if we really like you, you'll get a job.
You feel real sorry for those lawyers now after hearing that tear jerk of a story?
Well, I feel sorry for them if they've invested all that money with an expectation of a job.
They had to invest all that money with the expectation of a job so they could pay the exorbitant salary of Professor William Miller.
That's right.
And he won't, and he will not deny it.
That's absolutely
He
right.
feels he is paid too much, but does he give it back?
I am utterly unjustifiable.
And not only that, but he doesn't teach anything that you can actually use in the real world.
I don't even teach any law. I teach medieval. I teach about Iceland in the 11th and 12th century.
That's a very important thing for people to know about.
My dad could never figure that out. What the hell? What? Ireland? No, I said no. People actually come from there. Iceland.
Nobody's in Iceland. Oh gosh, it is bizarre how people who do really important work, the work that keeps things going, moving, don't get remunerated properly.
Well, corporations are just getting away with it. They have internships now where they used to hire people, unpaid internships, so that you're asked to give a year of your time, and maybe they'll consider you for a job after that. I mean, you just, you can't actually pay your workers if the CEO is taking it all.
Hey, if you want to have money, just become a hedge fund manager, okay? Right? No?
Well, I mean, you got to.
They're the ones with the money.
Well, the ones that are good at it,
or have the connections to get into the the right places. Oh, hell, no, I don't know. It's maddening. So.
Oh, she wants to talk about. I mean, you want to talk about injustice? I mean, that's what else is new?
I believe it was James Earl Carter. Is that his name? Yeah.
Jimmy?
Yeah. James Earl Carter, who said...
You make him sound like a sort of a serial killer.
Life...
He was.
He did say once, life isn't fair. But coming from a president, no one wants to hear it.
Yeah, but what else is new?
No, because it's getting less fair.
Yeah, it's getting less fair.
Because if you see it clearly moving... in the other direction, it is. These are harbingers of the demise of a culture.
Yeah, but this is going on in the rich. It's not just the United States. It's happening in all the kind of rich West. A little less in the Scandinavian countries, but even there too. It's not just badass America.
No, because it's global capitalism.
Because the
triumphant,
same five gazillionaires
run amok
worldwide own everything.
It's that slim guy in Mexico. It's unbelievable. God help us all. Chris writes, couldn't wait to see what the surprise was today. So excited to see your siblings with you. The only picture I ever saw of Bill was the one that was posted on Facebook that was taken about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which, oh, God. Is there anything worse than looking at old pictures of yourself?
Yes.
Where the styles always make you look like a doofus, and then you're a whole lot younger, making you realize how bad you look now too, even though you didn't look very good then either.
But you look worse now, so yes. The thing
My
that's
brother
worse,
is known as a breath of fresh air and always sort of optimistic.
That was a good picture.
You know, have you ever met an optimist with an IQ above 80?
Oh, come on, that is not true.
Yes.
Yes, I have one right here. Ray Kurzweil.
I think I'm sort of an optimist against all odds.
He flat out says he's an optimist, and he's brilliant.
That's right. People who are optimists can't do math. They always think the odds are in their favor. And I mean,
he says this,
just
I'm
ridiculous.
accused of being an optimist, and I am. It's not naive optimism, though.
Oh, no.
He is.
Optimism just means that there's a chance that things could get better.
Well, no, that's agreed. There is a chance. It's just a slim one. You don't want to bet. You don't want to take bets on it. You know, I mean, unless you're given good odds on it.
Every day that you wake up, you have a chance to have a better day. So go for it.
And a worse one.
Oh, Bill, honest to Pete.
No, I mean, come on.
Okay.
All right.
You know why depressed people are depressed? Because they actually see the world the way it is. I mean, happy people have this delightful capacity, a necessary, useful capacity to delude themselves.
Not necessarily. No. Look at your mother. Is she delusional?
Yeah.
She's happy.
She's happy.
That's not delusional. It's chemical. You're going to find out that some people have chemicals, more serotonin, more this, more that. And you got cheated, but it doesn't mean everybody else is walking around.
So all you do is you take chemicals to make you more normal.
No, I take chemicals. I keep Big Pharma going. I take all kinds of mood chemicals to put me out of pessimism at about the even point.
Right.
And it's
out of debilitating pessimism.
Well, I still feel that pessimism is largely right, but I don't have that roil in my guts about how unjust, unfair, and irritating it is that the gods are always laughing at us and toying with us and messing with us. And now I just say,
they are.
just take another Cymbalta, Miller. You'll be fine. And praise Big Pharma. Without it, I couldn't even pee.
What? Jeez. You and every other old man.
I know.
All right. Okay.
Women get to my age and they can't hold it in. Men get to my age
they
and they can't
get it out. It's true. Susan was just bragging last night that she has gotten so strong in her, like all the muscle groups inside. That what did you say?
When I sneeze now, I don't pee.
This is like such a.
This is huge.
Susan
this
now
is a reason to exercise.
She can sneeze and not pee, and if you don't think that is a feather in her cap,
it's something.
Yeah.
Kegels, ladies, they're very important.
Well, but that's easier said than done.
I'm doing them right now.
You should. But
it'll put Depends out of business.
No, but it's not just. But it turns out that it's harder to do those kind of exercises than people actually know, and that there are layers upon layers of ab muscles, and you have to actually strengthen.
You have to engage them all. Absolutely. Hey,
it's taken me 10 years of training to get all those layers, and once having done it, I can testify that it works.
I can sneeze and not pee, and I haven't gone all through the layers. However,
she got a mosquito bite last night.
And couldn't sleep because she's one of these people who's allergic to a mosquito bite. Her hand became the size of a...
No, it's all...
Oh, it's just disgusting and revolting beyond belief. But one mosquito, and it did her in. Now, I mean, it's like, did you know anybody, people my age, I'm 68, do you know anybody who was allergic to peanuts when you were growing up?
No.
And now you can't open a pack of peanuts on an airplane without somebody throwing a snit fit?
Right, because they could die.
Right. Well,
but they could.
But we're everything's so clean and neat that we have no immune system.
That's right.
We haven't
been
trained to eat.
That's right.
To eat rabbit turds, like
right.
Right.
Well, Bill lives in a house in which they have mice.
Where you could do that. Where you could eat
mice turds with everything. He actually told a story last night that is so disgusting. Where he was cleaning up the kitchen in his house, and he thought he saw a bunch of caraway seeds on the counter, and he actually was going like, like this, picking them up and sticking them.
And because he's so old that he can't taste or smell anything, he didn't know.
It took a while to look at these. Don't quite look like caraway seeds. And then because I can't taste the damn thing anymore.
Oh God!
But it's actually recycling. I was being
yes, you
green.
Were.
I was
right, right. So if you're going to visit one of us, I wouldn't suggest Bill's house.
It ain't my fault. Yeah.
Oh no, it's not. Never. That's true. I think.
Sorry, Kathy. You're a wonderful housekeeper.
We've got to take a break. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to take a break.
We managed to talk about pee and poop.
Pee and poop.
I'm on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my student evaluations says all he does is talk about stuff like, excrement and pee. I said, well, I mean, it's
what else is there?
Yeah, I mean, it's life, right?
It's the basis of life.
Right. When we have to start talking about human dignity in pious terms, I remind people of poop and pee and the sexual act, which if you can mention dignity in the same word with those things, boy, oh boy, you're more delusional than I can ever be.
There's no way to be dignified and have sex?
No.
He thinks that's the stupidest thing.
Only a virgin could say that.
If you're wearing a tie, you can be.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, and a top
and black
hat.
socks.
Yes,
I find
and a
black
top
socks
hat.
help.
Yeah. Yes, we got to take a break.
Stick around for more with Lynn Cullen live after this.
Pick up the Pittsburgh City Paper today. Still the #1 source for weekend fun in the Burgh. Go online now at pghcitypaper.com to vote in the 2014 Best of Pittsburgh Readers Poll and type in promo code CPLBTIX for your chance to win Luke Bryan tickets. Vote now before it's too late. Pittsburgh City Paper, available at over 1,700 locations throughout Western Pennsylvania and on the web at pghcitypaper.com and on your smartphone at citypapermobile.com.
Oh gosh, no. I have to promote, Bill, a great little homegrown nursery. That's not the baby kind of nursery, but plants called the Urban Gardener, which is over on the north side, sort of near the Steeler Stadium. I mean, that's the north side. And Susan, will you stop checking your goddamn stocks? God. So the Urban Gardener, which I'm going to introduce Susan to because we got to go there and get a
urban garden.
We got to get an annual or two. They have them all. I mean, trees, shrubs, anything that you can think that has to do with landscaping, they've got. The other thing they've got to do with landscaping is knowledge and skill. So that if you're not inclined to try this all for yourself, they'll do consultation with you, tell you maybe this should go here and that would go there. And then if on top of not knowing what you're doing, you're also lazy, they'll come and do the work as well. I mean, they'll do it all or not at all. Here's the real great thing I'm telling you, is that if you go there and buy anything and say, my name, Lynn Cullen, you will get a discount. I promise you. And if you don't, you see me. Okay? The Urban Gardener, 1901 Brighton Road, North Side.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen live at pghcitypaper.com.
All right. Okay, so I want to tell you that before the week is out, I'm going to take the opportunity to regale you with some of my stories from my medical sojourn, okay? You think that's that's sure. Reasonable.
Well, what's the point of having surgery if you can't talk about your scars for him?
Yeah, but I'm not going to. It's not the scars so much. I was in the clutches of UPMC for weeks, well, days, and I am going to very honestly describe my what happened to me, because it was. I've never been more frightened in my life. I have been in many, my sister and brother will attest, I have had many surgeries in my life. And I have been in hospitals in Wisconsin, in Illinois, in...
Remember when you got lice at the one in...
I got lice at St. Luke's Hospital in Chicago.
Yeah, gave it to you too, right?
Okay.
I was the only one that didn't get it.
So I made the rounds, and I have a really good sense of, what care is and what it should be. And I have to tell you, the care I received post-surgery is so far and away the worst care I have ever experienced, to the point that at one point I actually, and I was, I'm addled, I'm on drug meds, I'm calling on my cell phone to get somebody to my room. I'm calling outside the hospital to friends, please get over here, please, save me, protect me, because there's no staff here. They won't answer the call button. And then when they come, instead of helping, they look at you like this. Here, I had a reaction to something. Here's the look I got from the first nurse who finally made her way to my room when she saw me. I'll try to do it straight. Here's the look. You know what that does when you're already a little hysterical because something terrifying is happening to your body, and the person who's supposed to help you looks like that? And then she said something like, I never saw. I'll be right back, she said as she tears out, comes back with a second one, nurse. And then I got this.
No, you're off.
I got two of them.
We'll do it together.
And then one of them said to the other, who should we call? Ortho? No, I wanted to say, no, Ortho. Call the Orkin man. Ortho. What was wrong was something on my face. Something was swelling up, like I might be having a very serious reaction.
Bite.
Yeah, right. And this idiot, the first words I hear is, should we call Ortho? Because I was in for an orthopedic, every word that was uttered made me more and more frightened that I am in the clutches of imbeciles! Imbeciles!
This is what she calls the working class, the nurses. Her politics are generalized in ways, but when it impinges upon her, blame the nurse. The nurse?
There are good nurses and there are bad nurses.
Okay.
And we've seen both in our time very recently. But she was in there on Memorial Day
weekend when apparently no one actually
the staff
works.
Have been given the weekend off.
Yeah. You can tell understaffed big time. And just flat out, and then the staff that has to work the weekend, I encountered. There's some guy who came in to do my blood pressure. Now, when you do the cuff on your arm, have you ever had anyone do blood pressure where they put the cuff on your arm and then go like this? And then take it off? I didn't even feel that tightness around he wasn't taking my goddamn blood pressure. And he was surly and obnoxious. I was thinking, oh my God, these people. And then another time, I said I was going to save this for another time. Some woman comes in because I was calling. I need to get to the bathroom. Finally, and they all walk slow. It's only on TV that they walk fast in hospital things. And so you want to go to the bathroom? I said, yeah, I really do. You need to help me unhook me here, unhook me there, unhook this and that. And then I saw my hand, and the IV thing was coming off. And I said, oh, my God. I said, we better fix this. She said, oh, yeah, don't worry, we will. And she gets me up, and she's walking me into the bathroom, and it pulls out blood everywhere. She goes to mop the floor.
Oh, my God.
Well, she wasn't a fixer. She was a mopper.
I got to tell you, I have never in my life wanted to escape a place that I thought put me in genuine jeopardy as I did.
You're all right.
Yeah, I survived.
I hope she does bring in the X-ray to show what her shoulder looked like. You don't need to be a doctor to see one busted up shoulder.
And they did fix her. The doctor did a good job.
Doctor was fantastic.
It was the aftercare that was lacking.
It was the aftercare that was an outrage.
And we all know that hospitals differ by departments and floors. So, I mean, other people might have had different, kinds of things. But I saw in the last year that we spent a lot of time in the hospital, and I could tell that some places, some floors, you got really great care, and other floors,
that's right,
you didn't.
Yeah, there's a floor culture, I guess. And but man, I will never again be in a hospital unless someone who cares about me is with me every second. I'll pay them. They can sleep there with me.
How much?
Okay, I'm serious.
See, that
you need an advocate.
It's probably going to be me. I want to know.
Okay. Roger writes, my 27-year-old daughter tested twice with a 143 IQ, and she has an incredible positive outlook on life and is always looking to change not only her situation, but also the community in which she lives in Brooklyn. Does Bill drink? If not, he should.
Yes, I do drink. That is what pessimists do to get through the day.
He does drink.
Boy, does he drink. We've had an interesting time the last 3 days, speaking of drinking. But go ahead.
No. All right. I don't know what to make. Hey, Pittsburgh made it on the front page of the Wall Street Journal today.
For what?
Did you see that?
No.
For something very uniquely Pittsburgh. It turns out that even though the Guinness Book of World Records doesn't have a category, if they did, we would win it, because it says that if you took all of the public stairways in Pittsburgh, it would get you almost to the top of Mount Everest if you just kept piling. And public stairways are, most cities don't have necessarily a lot of public. You have to. So they say there's at least 45,454 public steps, and some of them are crumbling, and the city's not necessarily running over to take care of them. So they're saying it's really hard to get to some of these steps. You can't get the equipment up that you need to, and they say Pittsburgh is the hilliest city in North America. Isn't it? I guess it is.
Well, it's hillier than St. Louis. It's hillier
San Francisco would be the only competition, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I think we're maybe... And San Francisco also is a very small geographic area. But I wonder, we have more bridges than any... is it city in the world, I think, which seems odd.
And San Francisco doesn't necessarily have public steps. I mean, you're going up and down a lot of...
It has the trolleys
streets,
and the... Right.
But you're just walking up a hill. It's not steps. In Pittsburgh, you have steps going up in between houses, that take you to the next level.
And there's two other items in here that I think are interesting. When Ernie Pyle, the
photographer,
no,
he was a reporter, I think. Reporter.
Right.
Before World War II, when he really became famous, he did this he would report from various places in the United States and write about them. And when he first came to Pittsburgh in 1937, he said Pittsburgh looks like it was laid out by a mountain goat. And that is about it. And I saw this once. It also says in the article that members of the Pittsburgh Police Department who are bicycle cops have to learn.
Have the biggest thighs of all police.
Yeah, they've got the biggest thighs. But they have to learn
how to ride their bikes down steps.
How to ride down those steps.
Right.
And I once did see a cop riding down. That's not that. I mean, it's bumpy. And I would imagine a little disconcerting. But yeah, he says that cops have chased drug dealers like to hang out on the steps because they're great lookout points, And so cops end up sometimes chasing.
Well, the drug dealers need to run up the steps because the cop can't
ride up the steps. So never, if a cop's chasing you on the, always run up. Exactly right. So anyway, Pittsburgh disagrees on the importance of steps, and I think the sense of the article is we're going to start seeing some of them disappear. Because
they're going to crumble and they aren't going to be repaired.
They aren't going to be replaced. And, most of them, if you look at, they mention that, on the riverbank where all the industry was, and then up the hills where all the workers lived, and they still, all those little houses are still on the hills. They didn't have cars. They didn't have, so the steps, they took those steps down to work and back up again. And I was blown away by the steps when I came here, because even in my neighborhood, which is a newer neighborhood, it wasn't an industrial area, I have steps coming off my street, and the next street over, there's steps, and the street over that, there's 3 steps that I do use.
You would think everybody in Pittsburgh would be in very, very, very good shape.
Well, look around. I would think you would see that that's not the case.
Well, that's what I mean. I think that's very interesting. All because what's the best exercise in the whole world?
Walking
other than
up
taking
steps. You see old and even overweight people walking up these hills, and don't you wonder why that wouldn't take weight off? I don't know, and it can't be good for them.
Well, maybe it does. If they didn't walk up the hills, they'd weigh more.
Well, that could be too true.
Our dear mother once, when we were at a Packer game, she and I, this was just about 10 years ago, there was a very, very obese woman trying to get up the stairs, and my mom will vocalize any thought that passes through her head, and she says to all the people around, I bet she doesn't make it.
Oh, jeez.
And so everybody starts to actually take bets.
Oh, terrible.
And it was
Did she make it?
No, she didn't.
No, and
my mom was jubilant.
I have to tell you that the
terrible.
steps, at Lambeau Field, those are not normal steps. Those are steps made by real masochists.
By real men.
They're steep.
They are so steep. It is not a normal step. You got to. I can barely make it to the top. Well,
it's because they're the tiers of the seats.
I know.
But because there's not a bad seat in the stadium, because it goes up steep enough,
right?
So that you're sitting over the field rather than way away from it.
Right. Exactly. So, who gives a shit?
Well, tell the story about the nice man that helped your mother up the steps because you had bounded up to them to get to the seat, leaving your elderly mother to get up the steps by herself, and some nice man helped her up the steps and then proceeded to get dead drunk during the game, and didn't he, by the end of the game, moon her?
No.
What?
No.
See, Susan makes this shit up all the time.
No. How would I know if I ran about some man helping her up the steps?
Mother
I had
told
run
me
ahead.
The story.
But
being the jerk you are?
Well,
Mother
no, because
told
she is so tough and amazing, our mother, that she can just go up the stairs. She would get mad if I tried to help her up the stairs. Say, I can do it myself. So I just bounded ahead, and she got there. Yeah. No, we had some other incidents with kind of the drunkenness around there, but there's this one old lady that sits up there in the seat in front of us who starts drinking beers. She gets there an hour early because you got to see the pregame warm-ups. And she starts drinking beers then nonstop. And she's a little old lady. And she just knocks down a case in the course of the game. And then she actually doesn't even have to get up to go to the bathroom until about the third period. It's an amazing, it belongs in the Guinness Book of World Records along with this boring story about steps in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I'm going to kill him.
And that's why I get to come every Tuesday and you don't.
Don't these things about, hey, our city's the most famous for steps or public steps, all these little stupid ass records that get people to try and get, they just get me. Pittsburgh actually leads the world in having the largest number of Pittsburghers in it.
All right. Jeez.
Oh, God.
Well, you'll never be employed by any chamber of commerce, I'll tell you that right now. Chuck writes, Lynn, listening to your account of your stay at UPMC, I was just wondering if you happened to notice if you were in the Highmark wing of the hospital where they put all the bad Highmark insured patients. No, they don't. No, I was in the let them die wing.
The locked ward. She was in the locked ward.
I was in the locked ward for, and you know what? I wasn't Lynn Cullen. I wasn't anybody I knew there either. I was Ida. They insisted on calling me Ida. Nobody calls me Ida. It was just. The whole experience was a nightmare.
But that's weird because they usually put down. They want to know what name you would respond to.
Yeah.
That's not even good. That's another example of bad care.
Yeah. And how are we today, Ida?
Why would you? You should have just not answered.
I actually had someone. Who's the under to the nurse? One of them.
The nurse's assistant?
The nurse's assistant calls something else. She's also the one who ripped the IV out of me.
She's just an aide.
She came into the room one day and jumped into the little chair in the corner that I guess is for visitors. And she just sort of sat there and she said, "You don't mind if I just hide in here for a while, do you?" She said, "It's really dead out there. I'm bored out of my mind." She said, "And I don't think anyone will find me here." Right, because they never found me either.
Oh, my God.
I think I was in a renovated broom closet.
You wonder because they give you all these forms to sign about, they can take your organs and make things out of them. They can do all this. And they ask you to sign these things and they've already shot you up. So you're in outer space anyway.
Yeah.
So here you are coming out of 4.5 hour operation, deep anesthetic. And we're to trust your account of what you are seeing and responding to post-op. It could all have been a dream. A nightmare, but it might not have happened. And you couldn't because of the condition you were in. There's no reason to trust any of these stories you're telling, as if there were, even if you were stone cold.
I am totally telling the truth. Here, someone wants to know, what brand and model bike did your brother ride to visit you?
An 1800cc Honda VTX.
Is that?
It's too big for me at my age to handle well anymore. So the last you'll ever see from me is my trip home today. So
he didn't stop vibrating for 2 days before he got here.
You would think it would have helped your constipation. Not to mention your pee problem.
Well, you do. Yeah.
All right, never mind. Ray writes, Jake brake is a euphemism for brake retarder. It's more complicated than downshifting. It uses engine friction and can fade and fail. I believe it is a state law that prohibits their use in municipalities. Welcome back.
Wow, well, that's okay. That's some very
why
useful
haven't
information.
you? But why have we never seen that sign anywhere? And why would there be one? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's helpful and useful information you provided.
Ray always provides helpful information.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, what do you make of the Irish nuns throwing all those 800 babies in the septic tank?
Huh?
Yeah.
You didn't see that one?
No.
Well, they couldn't.
It is the most horrific story. You didn't see the movie Philomena, but anybody who saw that has some sense of what the Irish did to,
the babies that they didn't sell.
And to the mother. No, they didn't kill. They just They starved them. They gave them no care. And then they threw them. They were not allowed to be buried in consecrated ground.
Right.
So they threw them in this septic tank.
What decades are we talking about?
Oh,
we're talking about our
20th
lifetime.
century.
You married an Irishman.
Well, he didn't do it.
No, they took one look at him and they said, "We'll save him for Lynn Cullen."
No, it was the
Well, If we're telling these kind of stories, we can come right up to today. And in the local St. Louis paper today is a story about how our bishop, who was being deposed about child abuse in the church, was said under oath during the deposition that he didn't know whether he knew that child abuse was illegal or not back then. And he said that several times. This is our bishop, guys.
Well, I'm just, I
mean, when did you know that child abuse was illegal?
Okay, wait a minute. We got to... Okay.
Well, after your piano teacher stopped abusing us.
Right.
We have to hide the garage when you were getting your piano lesson.
Yeah, no, it was worse. It was my organ lesson.
Oh, God.
So to speak.
But he wasn't a child abuser because he used to abuse Dad, too. I mean, he would put his hand down the back of Dad's shirt and rub his back and then wait for me to come in. And then
this is ridiculous.
This not true?
No.
It's true. It's true. But mostly I remember how whenever Mother insisted that he stay for dinner, which she did all the time, he would grab the vegetable bowl and drink the water because that was the best part.
All right, stop it! Larry wants to hear a funny childhood memory from us three. Okay. What story?
We'll never agree on what happened. You know how those family stories, each one remembers it in a very different way, and there's a core of truth to it. But have you heard the story of Lynn's meeting a window on her brand new
bicycle?
But
that's not
not funny.
That's not my favorite. How is that a good story?
I'm actually going through the stories and editing
funny
them
story?
So that because we can't tell most of them.
Funny story.
How about the time that your friends put you
I know what the story is.
I know
the story is the limo trip.
Oh yeah!
Come on, Bill, go.
Okay, here.
Bill goes. It is funny.
I was
just
14 years old, and I had my first girlfriend, and my parents were horrified because she was, let's say, about 20 years older than I was in maturity level.
Well, girls always are.
And my parents were...
In sexual experience.
And I didn't know from nothing. I had only found out where babies came from when I was 12, and I burst into tears and said, my mom wouldn't do anything like that. And then, and so I was really not ready for action, and my parents were very negative about her and very worried about me wanting to see her and make out or something. So my dad had an interest in a funeral home, and he commandeered the limo for the bereaved family. They believe the limo that follows the hearse, and they put the family in it, and they took me away solely.
No, wait a minute! They took all of us.
All of us, and we were in the back seat, and they were in the front seat with the window up between the two things, so they couldn't hear us screaming, "Let us out! Let us out!"
So anyway, here it was. They actually tried to kill my awakening libido and sexuality, and they came back. We were gone for 3 weeks after watching two polar bears fornicate in the Central Park Zoo, all kinds of things.
And a pigeon poop on my mother's head.
Things like that. And we come back, and of course this girl had taken up with a guy in the junior class, and I was dumped in misery. But they succeeded in actually killing all libidinal urges in me, and they would always say, "Aren't you going to ask so-and-so to the prom?" I said, "What for?"
But listen, Bill, so, there was something, why we love the story so much is that they would, they weren't thinking of it, but that there was this funereal family vacation in this ridiculous Cadillac
They were burying my sexual awakening. It was like you couldn't make this up. The symbolism of it.
But they didn't know that's what they were doing.
Poor little Billy Miller's awakening sexuality.
And let me tell you, they stabbed it to death. It never
awoke.
recovered.
It never recovered.
No.
Well, you've got 4 children.
Well, he does. So that's proof that he 4 times. That's right. And he was drunk every single time.
Yeah, human
you know what?
Human
hey,
dignity,
listen. You know what? Here.
What?
I remember, he's my older brother. He told me about the birds and the bees. And do you know what he said to me? And if you think this didn't screw me up for a long time, just stop. Here's what you said. Do you know it?
Part. No, because you're making it up, probably.
No.
What did I
and
say?
once I say it, you'll be able to hear your voice, so you'll know I'm not making it up. Sex is when the man takes the ugliest part of his body and puts it inside the ugliest part of the woman's body.
And it's so beautiful.
Well, in the South, don't they call it just bumping uglies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's no mystery there.
Okay, and on Bumpin' Uglies, I note that we have gone 20 minutes over the time of this program.
Oh my goodness, we gotta get
my. Oh, not. What are you doing? Jesus! Did you see what she just did? She punched my broken shoulder.
I didn't punch.
Yeah, you did.
I have to hit the road to beat the rainstorm.
Hit the road, Jack.
Okay, sorry for whatever this was, but it was a return, right?
Yes.
I'm back.
She's back.
And Sokolowski will be in on Thursday, and Potter, I'm going to assume, on Friday. I should hope so. And
I'm just going to be the driver.
And Susan's my chauffeur. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you for... What are you doing? Taking your pulse?
No, I was playing with my watch.
He's still alive, folks. Okay.
We're out of here. God, thank you. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.